Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all around the world, Bravehearts. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolf. This is DocStar TV, and today we have a show called Real People, Real Healing with Linda. And Linda's going to be talking about, how about this? How about fibroids? How about prolapse uterus? And we're going to have fun with this, and I'm going to tell you why we're going to have fun with it. Because I believe there's nothing that is not irreversible. And then you can say to me, stop making false promises, Dr. Wolf. I don't make false promises. What I will tell you is that if you know that you're ready to love and care for yourself, which everybody says they will be ready to do, but understand something. If everybody loved and cared for themselves, then they wouldn't be compromising what they eat, think, or drink, would they? But the reality is everybody does it. And there's no better time of the year to do it than Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and then wondering why the whole world has COVID, or the flu, because that's just a natural process and detoxification. And understand this, fibroids are what? Fibroids are scar tissue. I'm going to explain where they come from. Prolapse, well, you don't have anything falling down and out if it's got tone. You don't have anything falling down and out if it's got circulation. Remember, circulation, perfect circulation gives you perfect tone. And anywhere in the body where you've got swelling, you've got pain, you've got stiffness, or you got redness, means you've got a block. And that block is a physical block. But you first had an emotional block, and that didn't mean that you were blocking your life. An emotional block means that you're actually programmed without knowing it to poison yourself and others around you, because you can't help but poison yourself, but poison others. And that's why if we could actually embrace honoring, loving, and caring for ourselves. Hi, Linda. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Daryl. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. And let me ask you a question. Do you have children?
I have one child. He's 15. He'll be 16 in March.
Guess what? And this is every woman. Every woman is given a dysfunctional actual manual on how to raise their children, how to feed their children, how to look after their children. And guess what? It's done on purpose. And this is what enslaves the whole world, is that the world actually trusts the medical system, trusts the government, and trusts people that say that they are an authority over you and that they know better. How's that working, Linda?
Well, that's how they believe, but I don't.
I know, but how? But it worked for a long time, didn't it?
It did, until I noticed my health kept getting worse and worse. And then I just basically stopped going to doctors, and then I started going to naturopaths. And that's how I got onto like herbal remedies and things like that.
Yeah, you know what? When we take responsibility for those 50 trillion cells, those 500 trillion bacteria, miracles happen. So let's talk about you. So what are we doing here today, love?
So I'm here because I would like to share my story as to why and how I got here, which now I have fibroids. I have heavy bleeding, also known as menorrhagia. I have endometriosis. I have massive blood clots.
Can we slow it down just a little bit? Do you notice how? What if they would have told you at the very beginning that you had scar tissue in your pelvis? You would say, well, how did I get that scar tissue? And they would have to say, well, because of inflammation. And then you would say, well, how did I get that inflammation? And they would have to say, because of infection. And then you would say, how did I get that infection? And they would have to say, because your large intestine had pinholes in it, and that's what's called leaky gut or autoimmune disease, and it's all about the large intestine. And most of these guys don't even know that, and if they ever told you that, they would lose their job. Now, why do they call it endometriosis? Because for one thing, the word is big, it's not English, and that would just make you feel like I'm just not smart enough or educated in that realm to actually understand these deep inner things that happen to our body. And it's all that way. Everything is in Greek to make you freak. Everything is in Greek so that keeps them up on this religious pedestal, because understand, the medical care is bloody religion. Okay, people will continue to go there even though it's hurting them. I mean, people will go to a doctor and get drugs and chemo and radiation and surgery, and it's not because it's a loving, kind, honoring, respectful thing, is it? But why do they go?
No.
Fear. The fear of not knowing. So, and then you said, what did you have about bleeding? Would you use the word?
Menorrhagia.
Which is heavy bleeding, right? Heavy bleeding. And guess what? We know why women have heavy bleeding. They have heavy bleeding because you have a choice. Would you like heavy bleeding, or would you like cancer of the uterus, ovaries? Okay, what would you like? Which one? So the body's going to have heavy bleeding only because the toxins are just way too thick and too much. So it knows it's got to keep on getting rid of it. And how do you stop the bleeding? You've got to reduce the infection, and you got to reduce the inflammation, which means you've got to understand, and you're not going to reduce your scar tissue formation unless you're going to do those two things and restore the large intestine. And then what are you going to do about the fibroids? And we're going to talk about that. I'll lay out this whole thing for you today. Okay? Go ahead, love.
So I also have cysts on my ovaries.
Okay, 1 second. If you don't mind, you'll say one thing and then I'll explain it, because this will be the first time for a lot of people they even heard this. Cysts are pus packets. Without those pus packets, you would have had inflammation of the ovaries and mutation of those ovaries. So what would you like? Would you like sacs of dead bacteria and pus and infection? Or would you like ovarian cancer? Which one? So now you can get rid of those pus packs so easy, okay? And that's all they are. Go ahead, love.
So, and I'm also struggling with hair loss and hypothyroidism.
Well, first of all, hypothyroidism, nobody would have it if they were doing our infinite iodine. We have the only iodine that's non-toxic. We are the only one. If you've got hyperthyroidism, I would tell you to do 20 sprays a day. And I would tell you to do of the infinite iodine and 5 sprays a day of the infinite iodide. Now, you don't have to do the iodide for a long time. Okay, just we got to get your metabolism back up. And try to look at your thyroid like this. All the stress that you have over these things. You just got to live with them, right? Well, that stresses the living crap out of anyone. Anybody's going to whip their thyroid apart because your thyroid is in charge of your metabolism, but you have right now metabolic dysfunction. Metabolic dysfunction means the thyroid is going to get whipped like the horse that's pulling the cart that is exhausted, okay, trying to keep everything run. So the reality is that's the hypothyroid's an easy thing. And when you've got hypothyroid, now you're going to have weight gain. But also, you're going to get hypothyroid when your period starts to slow down, because you're not going to be detoxifying like you used to. That what all women need to understand is they live longer and live stronger because of the period every month. They're not just getting sloughing off the egg, they're sloughing off the worst poisons in their body to make sure that there's loving in the oven if they get pregnant, so that the environment is healthy enough that a baby can actually be created. End of story. So the reality is now, are you through menopause, in menopause? Where are you?
Well, I'm 52 and I haven't even started.
Well, you have started. It has started. Things will slow down at that age. And the reality is you might have already been into it, but now you're still just bleeding, because if you didn't bleed, you might be threatening your own life. Do you understand what I'm saying? The bleeding is a safety valve. Do you want to know something? People will call me up, Linda, and they'll say, Dr. Wolf, I just got this bloody nose out of nowhere. I'm really scared. And I'll go, well, welcome to high blood pressure. That's a blow-off valve. Like children will get bloody noses. Nobody touched them. And that's because it's a blow-off valve, because they're being totally stressed out by their parents in life. And people don't know that. Bleeding is the body's way. You know, you can get somebody with high blood. You get what? Well, then you're stressing yourself out big time. But here, that and I would be too if I was in your shoes. But you know what we used to do when I have a doctorate in acupuncture. So somebody would come into me and go, I've got really high blood pressure. I'm really stressed out, Dr. Wolf. I would take the needle and just give their finger or their toe a little prick and just get a couple of drops of blood out and the blood pressure would drop. You know what? Just that little bit of bleeding will actually turn that off. And that's not what we want to do. We want the person to learn how to calm down. But on a physical level, blood pressure is mainly caused not because of arterial plaque. It's mainly caused because of colon backup. And that's it. And then you're going to go, no, I go to the washroom every day. Well, it's not what comes out, Linda. It's what stays in. And if you notice, your core is not that strong. Okay? Well, I think we lost her. All right. Can you bear with me, everyone? We'll see if we can get her back. There she is. What happened?
Hello?
What happened to you?
I don't know. I couldn't hear you anymore, and it was cutting out.
Okay.
It was cutting out.
Are you close to your internet? Are you close to your internet box, love?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It happens.
Yes, I am.
It happens, sweetie. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue.
Okay, so the next thing I have is a prolapse uterus.
Okay, so here's the deal. So you think that your tummy's just going to fall down and out when you lose tone? Your uterus is going to fall out when your large intestine has fallen down. You do know that. When you're large, okay, so here we go. And this is what I want you to understand. If you were to check me, okay, I'm going on 69, and you were to check now, here, let me just show you. Just above your right hip is called the cecum. That's the beginning of the large intestine. The small intestine is 22 feet long, and it's basically in the middle of your abdomen. Then what we do is we have the small intestine attaching to the large intestine, which is 5 to 7 feet long. Everybody will learn this if they go and watch in my library, The Highway to Health, Your Digestive Tract, and Holy Crap, Your Large Intestine, the Holy Grail. You'll get more learning about that than you got all the way through high school and university. I promise you. Now, so when the small intestine, which is 22 feet, attaches to the, what we call, you've got the ileocecal valve, and then it goes into the large intestine, and you've got your appendix that hangs like a little tail on what's called the cecum. That sits just above your right hip. Now, that will go from your right hip straight up to right underneath your ribs where your gallbladder is. Then it'll come across underneath your ribs from one side to the other side of your abdomen to the right side just underneath where your spleen is. Are you with me? Stomach area, okay? Then it'll come down, and then we've got sigmoid, rectum, anus. But when it comes across underneath the ribs at the top, okay, right here, that's called the transverse colon. Your transverse colon has fallen down by about 3 inches.
Oh.
Now, when that falls down, that pushes on the small intestines that now push on your bladder, and they push on your uterus. And if it continues, your uterus will stick outside of your vaginal canal like a cuckoo clock. Cuckoo, cuckoo. It'll actually, you'll see it. We actually have women coming to us.
Yeah, I did see it.
What?
I did see it. It was laying down like a sausage.
Okay, well, guess what? You can get it back up. Where do you live?
I've been doing exercises.
Yeah, okay, well, you can do those, but you need someone to do Wolf non-surgical. How would you like them to, in one treatment, lift that transverse colon up by 1 inch to 3 inches up higher? Okay, because the problem is, you have to understand, once your transverse colon falls down, adhesions, which is scar tissue, cause it to be stuck to the small intestine. The small intestine is stuck on top of the bladder, pushing down on the uterus. So we're going to go in and we're lovingly going to pull these things apart that have become glicky, sticky, and stuck together. Are you with me?
Yes.
And the other thing you can do is get what we call Celsonic, and also start doing the pelvic squats gently start doing the crab stretch, right? But the reality is also start clapping the abdominal and pelvic area with the clapper. Do you have one of our clappers?
I do have a clapper.
Good. Okay. But I'm going to be honest with you. Where do you live again? Where do you live again?
I'm not too far. I'm in North Bay, but I'm not too far from Barrie.
Okay, so you could actually go down to Barrie and see Shalou or see Kathy. And I would suggest that if Simran is there, get her to do the pelvic, get her to do the pelvic restoration abdominal lift on you, please. And then make sure that you get the Celsonic done on the area. And then when you start doing your exercises to get your abdomen strong, and understand something, can I ask you how old you are, love?
52.
So you're 52 years old. So understand, what's your weight?
165.
And what's your height?
5'5".
5'5". So what would you say that you could lose in the way of inflammation and waste?
Honestly, 30 pounds.
Yeah, I would say that, or 35.
Yeah.
So understand something. You need to get on what we would call a perfect day keto diet, which is a whole plant-based keto, not an animal keto. Okay? Because whether you like it or not, you're not going to digest animal products very well. Even if you chew them really well, you're still not going to digest them well. And if you do eat them, you better eat smaller amounts, and you better chew them until they're a liquid, because we know that you're not digesting your food very well, and most of it's putrefying. Okay? And then you've got to look at your food combining. So the smartest thing to do would be actually to try to get on a perfect day diet for at least 33 days of just blender drinks and salads and juicing and the nutraceuticals. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But understand this, your uterus is a muscle. You do understand that, right? Uterus is an organ, but it's also a muscle. Get it? Every tissue in your body has tone. When it lacks tone, it falls down and out. You see all these people explain what plant-based keto is. Yeah, I will. I'll actually do a 1-a-day on it, but I'll get into it with Linda. But this is all about Linda, but I will do a 1-a-day on it, Michelle, okay? You're going to have to really take a look at vaginal infusion. If you want this to work, you would be doing a vaginal infusion no less than once a day to twice a day. You would be doing the Ultimate Coffee Enema once a day, and I'd want you to do the Ultimate Coffee Enema using the black gold, Linda, because if you do a coffee enema and you start purging your liver with a coffee enema, we already know that your colon does not have a lot of integrity, right?
Right.
So if I dump heavy metals, if I dump like chemical toxins, and I dump these things from your liver, which a coffee enema would do, into your colon, we already know that you've got leaky gut, which is leaky large intestine. We don't want to absorb that back into your bloodstream, and this is why you have to do what we call the Ultimate Coffee Enema, using things like Tummy Love and Black Gold, and you'll see all those instructions on how to use the Ultimate Coffee Enema in the 6-day advanced water fasting guide. And I would also suggest that you look in the 6-day advanced water fasting guide and use the perfect day diet for 2 weeks to 3 months, keto diet, perfect day. And then we actually do like a 6-day advanced water fast. And if you're using our nutraceuticals, you'll go through this with tons of energy and no negative symptoms, and it won't turn on your digestive tract. It'll bypass your Krebs cycle. And guess what? When you do an advanced water fast, that's using nutraceuticals, not just using water, because we want you to be energetic and we want to increase autophagy and stem cell making to create new organs, new tissues, And autophagy, we can increase that by using the nutraceuticals to go in and eat up anything that is low vibrational in your body and restore itself. You'll see miracles happen. So I would like to see you do 2 weeks to 30 up to 33 days of what we call the perfect day diet, which is basically you can go in and do more research, and then Linda, we can come back and do another Real People and tighten it all up. But this is a strategy that you're not going to lose. How would you like that? How would you like to create a strategy that you're not rolling the dice and going to the casino, but you're actually going to win? If you do 80 to 90% of what I ask you. So you would be doing 2 blender drinks a day, picking one of the berries, strawberries or blueberries. You don't mix a bunch of berries together. Let's say oat milk or coconut milk. And then you were to use if you want to really feel like you want to be stronger and fill yourself up, you were a protein person, then take like 1 raw egg, organic free range egg, crack that open, put it into the blender drink. You don't need to put a lot of other stuff in there except maybe a teaspoon of black gold, because black gold is, we're the only company that do not use chemicals to process our humic fulvic. So, and the black gold will go in and absorb throughout the digestive tract the heavy metals. It'll remove any parasites, and it'll suck up any viruses, and so all the parasites will be gone. And it also drops off 60 to 70 micronutrients throughout the digestive tract. But when the black gold gets to the large intestine, it'll actually create an environment to actually create your good bacteria again. And the only good bacteria is mommy's bacteria. So we want to work on that. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we want to look at, 2 blender drinks a day like that, but you're going to go into the advanced water fasting guide, look at the perfect day diet, and we'll go 2 weeks, like I said, or 33 days with that. And then we'll start doing advanced water fasting. And then we're going to advanced water fast you 6 days to 12 days. And we're going to actually do that every 6 weeks. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Your uterus will be able to do push-ups in 3 months to 6 months. It'll be toned right back. If we were to just restrict your diet and keep the so-called normal diet that people have, we will slow down the progression of your aging and your problems, but we will not turn back the clock. And we can get you right back to feeling young and youthful and beautiful. And that's it. Okay? So we're looking at vaginal infusions once a day. Okay? Because you know what? If I had to fix my vaginal canal, should I try to fix it by nutritionally going through the mouth, or should I go directly into the source? Which one should I do?
Directly into the source.
Thank you. Now you just got 99% of the nutrition into the vaginal tissue, uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and it'll spread right through your whole pelvis and even help to heal your hips and low back. Is that good?
That's great.
Yeah, trust me, if men knew how powerful this is, well, I guess some of them are actually trying to get a vagina. At least that's what I hear. But anyways, so we want to do the vaginal infusions. We want to do the ultimate coffee enema once a day for 10 to 20 days. I'm here for you. You know that. You can call me. We can walk through this thing together. And now, here's the deal. I do need you to get down to Barrie. And just so you know, I don't make any money off of this. Nothing. But I would like you to get down there and do that pelvic restoration where Simran, or pick therapist you want, and goes in and pulls the fibroids apart. Because let's say your fibroid was as big as an egg, and you can actually palpate it and feel it. When Simran gets done, your fibroid is actually going to be 1/3 to 60% smaller. If you were already on the perfect day diet and doing the things that we say, I will go through the supplements that I would do. I mean, the nutraceuticals I would do if I was in your shoes. You do whatever you want. You know, we try to give the maximum ultimate program, and then people can tell me, well, Dr. Wolf, I can't do this, I can't do that. Then I'll let you know what we can do and what you can expect. I'm trying to give you if you got a 20-foot hole, I'm giving you a 20-foot ladder, not a 5-foot one, and saying, if you climb it 4 times, we'll get out, because that's a lie. Do you understand? And understand something. If you do what we say, front end loading, let me tell you something. Whether it's consciously or unconscious, it doesn't matter. Your body feels disrespected. 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria said, you never knew how to look after me, I get it. But we're falling down and out, girl. And you know what? We're like a Visa card. And you need to make payments. And you need to do some catch-up payments here. Okay? All right? We're malnourished and we're totally toxic. And that's why your uterus is popping out. And that's why it's falling down. Okay? And understand, if that's falling down, so is everything else. Okay?
Okay.
And do me a favor too, will you? Go take a look in North Bay on Marketplace or on Kijiji or secondhand places. And I need you to get yourself an anti-gravity machine where you can put your ankles in and lay upside down. And I need you to do that twice a day. Okay? So when we're doing this work, because I want everything to start to feel like it can get settled in. And at the beginning, you're going to feel, oh my God, it feels like high blood pressure. And that's because, you've got too many blocks inside of you. When I first started, it would be like 3 minutes and I was going, oh my gosh. And then, as soon as I get settled here, I'll go and I'll do this and I will do a meditation hanging upside down. And I will stay there. I will stay there for up to 20 minutes upside down. Now I want you
Does it make you nauseous?
What?
Does it make you nauseous?
Well, it's going to make you nauseous. And
I've tried it before. I actually tried 1 year ago and I got so nauseous.
I know that's because you're so toxic. And I'm not trying to put you down. Toxic people don't get nauseous. Okay, it's like this. Healthy people don't get nauseous.
Right.
Toxic people get nauseous. And if you get really nauseous while you're on this program, you look at therapeutic vomiting. It's in the 6-day advanced water fast. And if you do therapeutic vomiting, I've got people doing therapeutic vomiting that have all the way to stage 4 inflammation, which is cancer. And the reason why is because they've swallowed so much BS in their life. Okay, and there's so much mucus in their stomach, and because it's so toxic in their stomach, the hydrochloric acid, the pepsin, it's not strong anymore. People can have like 1/16 of an inch of mucus inside their stomach because of improper food combining, alcohol, toking, sugar. I could keep going on until the cows come home.
See, I never was a smoker, and I was an occasional drinker, so I never drank much anyway. But you know what? We grew up eating, I'll be honest, a lot of chocolate.
Which is bad. And people don't like to hear that. But all you should do is have a piece of chocolate, put it in your mouth, and it should be a pure chocolate. And then you suck on it. You don't chew it, swallow it, and eat bars of it. It's not good for anyone. And dairy milk is dairy milk, and dairy's no good for anyone, but people can argue until the cows come home, because programming is what gets people sick and keeps them sick. Cow's milk is... What?
What about the raw milk? Raw milk.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, you ever hear of casein in the milk?
Yes.
It's a toxin to the brain. And it actually makes your brain addicted to it. Do you think anything that you're addicted to is good? And let me ask you another question. Why is it that the enzymes that break down milk will actually stop being produced by the baby 7 to 10 days after they breastfeed? Because you're not supposed to be doing mammal milk. End of story. So I don't care. People can fight with me all they want and go do whatever you want. You're right and I stay happy. Okay, that's it. And that's the way it is. I'm not here to win. Okay. And also, just so you know, cows have 4 stomachs. Just so you know, cow's milk is 20 times larger than the molecule of mother's milk. So we can't even digest it anyways. But go ahead. And why is it that when you have a glass of milk or a slice of cheese or ice cream, you're... Okay, why is it that your ears are clogged? Why is it you got mucus in your eyes the next morning? I mean, there's a clue here. Why is it you have to grunt and groan to get that little turd into the toilet? Because it's inflammatory. So I'm not fighting with people. You know, it doesn't even matter about the science. People are so turned off, they'll protect their belief systems even if they're killing them. That's it. That's the truth. And God loved them anyway. I'm not here to change people.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the raw milk. I mean, I had access to raw milk, so we were drinking that for a while. And then I had to stop because I had a really bad case of seborrhea. And then when I stopped drinking milk, the seborrhea vanished.
Oh my gosh, another miracle. Hallelujah. Okay, so there's my point. And the reality is people don't know that they're addicted to it. They're addicted to it. The brain becomes addicted to it. When a person eats sugar, when a person eats flour products, processed foods, it's because they're addicted to it. Okay? And you know what the addiction is? The brain and the fungus. The fungus in the body go, this is what the fungus does, okay? Mommy, feed me. If you didn't notice, your addictions are always on time because the kids need to be fed. The little fungus feeders in your body need to be fed, and you're full of fungus, you're full of heavy metals, you're full of toxins, Linda, and we don't have to worry about all this stuff because just getting you on the perfect day and the proper nutraceuticals, because black gold and black diamond, the black gold will totally clear all parasites, heavy metals, okay, and viruses out of the digestive tract. And black diamond will go into your bloodstream and it'll go into your brain and totally clear it out. So, and we get people doing this on a daily basis. See, the reality is, I had a gentleman call me. He's 5'8". He's 250 pounds. He says, I've tried everything. I need to lose weight. I said to him, okay, you know, I told him what he should do, get a consult, or come on with a Real People, Real Healing, and I'll build him a protocol. And he says, I can't do that. My wife loves cheesecake, and if I take that away from her or don't eat it with her, we'll have big trouble in the family. I can only maybe take a few products, and then I have to kind of keep that hush. So I gave him the daily cleansing tea, black gold, and I gave him the Ormus minerals and the black diamond. That's enough to turn off his addictions and to also turn off his appetite, because people are only hungry all the time and snacking all the time because they don't know how to turn off the hunger valve. And we will have turned off the hunger valve. Let me tell you, this morning I drank my Marigen in 16 ounces of water. Then I drank a whole quart and a half of black diamond, Ormus minerals, and structured water. Now I'm doing a quart of beet and carrot juice. You know, I will not eat until tonight. And last night, believe it or not, people are going, and you know what? I swam yesterday for an hour and a half out in the bay here.
Wow.
An hour and a half. And then, yeah, of course, I took my SON formula, my amino boost, and things, my nutraceuticals. But the reality is your body wants actual high vibration nutrition. It doesn't, see, people, honey, are you full yet? You know, wouldn't it be different if we were to say to people, hey, it's time for nourishment, not time to eat? Because that's what people are. You know, I swear to God, if you stepped on someone's foot, their mouth drops open now. So we have to get a whole change in mentality, because food corporations are owned by the tobacco industry, and all of that is owned by Vanguard and BlackRock, and all they want is profits. And you know as well as I do that right now in a store, only, if we're talking about real healthy foods, only 7% of a supermarket is healthy foods. Only 30% of a health food store is really healthy foods. So everybody has kind of been misinformed. So, you know, to follow the majority, where's the majority going? You know where they're going, right, Linda? The majority are leaving. They're leaving the planet. So, you know, they can complain about everything, but everybody did have a choice on what they put in their mouth, in their cupboards, and in their fridge, and in their shopping cart to begin with. Now, so let's talk about you though, okay? How's
Okay.
how's your bowels moving?
Well, you know what? Once a day. But I went for an ultrasound last week, and you know, the lady said to me, she says, "Are you constipated?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "Do I look constipated?" And she goes, "Yes." And she goes, "And I have a lot of gas."
Okay, so here's the deal. You have a puffy face, which means you're retaining water, and you're retaining water in your face because that's actually excess water to try to help the inflammation due to the infection from the stagnation of the putrefaction of your foods. So understand, how many meals do you eat a day?
3.
Guess what? You ready for this? I have 2 to 3 huge bowel movements a day, and all I eat is 1 meal a day. And you go once a day and you eat 3 meals a day. So you've got all this rotten putrefaction. So if I have a bowel movement and it's 7 inches long, it's going to be, do me a favor and take your second finger. You see that? Putting your thumb together. That's how big your bowel movements should be when they come out. See? And
Yeah.
they should be 5 to 7 inches long, smooth, no cracks, and it should float without bubbles. Okay? That's not you at all. Now, so you're eating 3 times a day, and if you fed a baby 3 times a day, it would go to the bathroom 20 minutes after your meal. So you've lost the tone in your bowel. Now, if we were to take a look at your bowel, you would see that we have hostras, and those hostras in there, you wouldn't see like this, where you have like muscle tone, like this. There's a bump right here. You wouldn't see that. You don't have that anymore. Your large intestine is laying stuck to organs and itself with adhesions, and it's lacking tone, so it's laying in there like not a dead muscle, but a muscle in coma. Okay? All right.
Okay.
If you restore your pelvis, you get to restore your whole life. So people that are out of shape will go to the gym and work on their legs and their arms, correct? Mainly? And they don't work on their abdomen, and they wonder why they can't get ahead. When 85% of your immune system sits inside your large intestine, it's called your good bacteria. And you may not know this, but this is an actual stat. Only 1 out of Pilates. No, Pilates aren't going to do it. They're going to really help, but now we're back to that again. It's doing the right abdominal work. And most people, they have so much scar tissue and adhesions in their abdomen, they will struggle the rest of their life to try to get their abdominal muscles back or to get things lifted up. You've got to do the non-surgical and the Cellsonic, which is a 25,000 volt device that will actually put it into a vibrational love harmonic and wake everything up. And also, if you check out, when you go down there, check out their cardio med bed, because the cardio med bed, when they put those cuffs on your lower legs and your upper legs and around your pelvis, and it contracts in between your heartbeat, it's pushing 60% of your blood supply into your core. What would that do? What do you think that's going to do for you? So the reality is anybody who really wants to reverse things, this is how we do it really, really quickly and efficiently. Where's this device? Well, everyone, if you're interested, Elizabeth, please go to BHN, that stands for Braveheart Nation, powerpack.com, and you'll find out where all the cardio med beds are and all the Cellsonics are. Okay, and we're getting more and more. Today, we just sold 3 Power Pack packages to people who are going to come and take our course to become practitioners. So that means that they have a cardio med bed, they have a Cellsonic, and when people buy these, we give free New World Practitioner trainings with both of these things. Our cardio med beds, they sell for $250,000 new, and we're actually getting them out of hospitals right now because the cardiologists went on strike in hospitals throughout the United States and said, if you don't get rid of these cardio med beds, then we're not going to do surgery, because the cardio med beds will totally reverse a blocked heart up to 93% and totally rebuild within 35 hours of treatment, brand new arteries. This is, between the cardio med bed and the Cellsonic, these two things, there's nothing that can touch them. Nothing that can touch them. The Cellsonic, Linda, is going to bring back the electrical charge back into your cells. the actual CardioMed bed will restore perfect circulation. And that's the deal. Go read up on it, Linda, at bhnpowerpack.com. And now we have another person in Toronto that's opening up a clinic, and we have another one in Quebec that will be doing it too. And we have another person in California and another one in Texas. So they're going to be opening up all over the place, because if you have perfect circulation and you've got electrical conduct, that's the name of the game. Okay. You go ahead, Linda, please.
So one more thing is, so if once I do all of this, right, I have like this wart on my foot and a couple on my hands. I mean,
the wart is your liver. The wart is your liver. And let me just explain something. This is all because of your dysfunctional bowel. When you were a little child, if you have your parents, why don't you go ask them all the trouble they had with you trying to go to the bathroom? And how long have you went to the bathroom and only going once a day? And the reality is, if I have a bowel movement that comes out that's 5 to 7 inches long, and it actually is, that's how it should look when you take your second finger and your thumb, and it should float. And guess what? I have 2 or 3 of these, and I eat 1 meal a day along with the juicing. And sometimes I'll do some grapes, but, you know, and last night, what did we do for a treat? Last night I cut up organic strawberries, and then I just sprinkled a little bit of really great AAA maple syrup on it, just to make it a little bit sweet. And that was just like mind-blowing. I just loved it. So the reality is, and then you're going to have a bowel movement. It's going to either be this rock thing that splashes the water and gets your butt wet, and it sinks right to the bottom because you took that 7-inch bowel movement and you sucked up all the water and you took back the water into your body, and that was a cesspool of water. Now, what do you think your liver's doing? It's screaming bloody murder. And where do the warts come from? The warts come from the fungus that you grow in your body and the fungus that's growing in your liver. That's where the warts come from.
Have a fatty liver.
Oh, no. You have not a fatty liver. You have a liver.
No.
A fatty liver means an inflamed, infected liver. Please, help me out here. The fatter somebody is, the more inflammation they have, the more infectious their diet is, and the more infectious their mind is. Now, to be a woman, I am so glad I'm not a woman. And I'm going to tell you why. For one main reason, because men are awful. They're manipulators. And the reality is that men do not understand women. And women are like the canary in the coal mine, where a man will eat something and he'll just burp and fart. The woman will be throwing up and she'll be nauseous because she has all these bells and alarm systems in her body saying this stuff is crap. And with a man, they're going, hey, you'll eat crap anyway. But the woman can't eat the crap because what if she has a baby, gets pregnant? And understand something, the whole world of pregnancy is terrible. Did you know that women losing their babies has gone up 600% in the last 5 years? Ha, ha, ha. Did you know this, that 60% of all women are getting cesareans now? Did you know this? I mean, women are not thinking. And if a woman gets a cesarean, just know this. That's a cut right into the abdominal wall, which is going to create all kinds of scar tissue. Now she's going to have all kinds of adhesions. She is going to have so many problems. You have no idea. And then the baby didn't come down through the vaginal canal, so it's not gotten all that great bacteria all over it to create immune system. So I tell a woman today, if you're gonna do a cesarean, you better get a 2-inch by 2-inch natural sponge into your vagina a few hours before, and then when the baby's born, wipe that in its mouth, its ears, and all over its body. You don't do that, you got big trouble in River City. And the whole thing is about undermining and actually bringing the population down and making the population sick. And that's it. The medical system is great for emergency care, but they should never be in healthcare because they're not healthcare. And that's the reality. And you know what? A woman would actually deliver. How do you get rid of scar tissue? Well, first of all, why don't we talk about how you get it? Everybody thinks it's a car accident. Everybody thinks it's a sports injury. And understand something. Does everybody on here understand that old age and you're doing good for your age, okay, is all because you've pulled the calcium out of your bones because you're so infected and inflamed, trying to buffer down so you don't get cancer in your body. And guess what? The scar tissue is created from the inflammation. Everybody get this. Inflammation, the first few letters of the word is inflame. Inflammation is like a flame. You're barbecuing your tissues. So now what happens is those tissues become dehydrated. Okay? And when they get inflamed, the body makes fibrin and sends more fibrin to the area to wall off the inflammation so it doesn't spread. Old age is stiff joints from scar tissue and calcification. Fatty liver is fat cells created to hold the infection and the inflammation, or else the liver would be liver cancer. That's it. That's it. And understand something. Anger. And guess what? Linda's got anger. She's got anger because it's been going on for way too long. She's freaking angry. And that anger gets stored in the liver. Does anybody know that? And people that have gallbladder problems have so much anger, it dumps the anger into the gallbladder. Because not everybody has gallstones, okay? Not everybody has gallbladder problems that eats like crap, because that would be 99% of the population eats like crap. So the reality is eat like crap and have an anger yap. Be angry. And guess what? You'll have gallbladder problems. You'll have a fatty liver, and that's it. Hey, listen. Have the fear of loss, and you'll have kidney problems. And people have the fear of loss today, and that's why kidney problems are so rampant. I can give you a problem for everything. We can tell you the problem for Linda's uterus. Okay, love life crashed. Okay, love life crashed. Uterus fell down. That's it. So you better get it, everybody. Every organ has its thing, and this dates back all the way 10,000 years. It's called Chinese diagnosis, and whether you like it or not, it's way better than getting any blood test. We know what's going on with Linda. Every one of her symptoms are actually just part of her emotional makeup, which is a personality, and she needs a reality check, and she needs to go in there and find the unconditional love and care for herself and stop being angry at the relationships that are not working. Hi, Linda.
You know what? Honestly, I was so angry when my dad died because my sister basically hosed me over $650,000 from the inheritance. And ever since then, my health issues really have really gone down.
Yeah, and listen, sweetie, I'm not saying it's right, but the reality is this: you took the poison pill, and the reality is you destroyed yourself, and the reality is and this happens because guess what? You have somewhere a self-hate for yourself, and that's what you need to work on. And I don't know, and you know what? And I already pick up on your energy. You know what? I want you to tell you that life's not always fair. And you know what? A guy like me, you know what? You know, when I got into this business and I said, I'm always going to tell the truth. I'm always going to be as fair as possible. Geez, I mean, come on. Have you had someone attack you from a media station and spend $250,000 on doing a research and then saying you've murdered 3 people and that you rip money off from people? But meanwhile, why aren't I in jail? Because it's all BS. Because guess what? In life, if you conform to the norm, you won't get to live your authentic self and you won't have the life that you deserve. But if you decide to go after your authentic self and break from the herd, because you want to know something? I will never be part of anything that the majority does. Love the majority, but I want nothing to do with them. I want nothing the way they eat, nothing the way they live, nothing the way they drink, not the way they think, what they participate in. So when I get on here and I talk like the minority, like 1 out of 10,000 people will follow me, like really follow me. And they'll only follow me for a certain length of time because I kick their butt out the door, because nobody should follow anyone. You should get the information you need from someone. Find your authentic self and learn how to love yourself, Linda. If you could learn how to love and care for yourself, and guess what? What about all the guilt you have, Linda? You're a real guilter on yourself. My God, you need a truck. All of that you should be getting rid of because it's BS. The sinner syndrome. You know what? If I were to feel bad every time that I say something to someone, even if I'm doing it with my heart and they feel bad, remember something. You are always going to be made to feel bad if you don't match the majority of the population's beliefs. They need to feel comfortable, okay, buying their bottled water, drinking their alcohol from Friday to Sunday night, okay, to being addicted to things, okay, that every time there's a celebration, we can off ourselves off and it won't even stand out. I am not going to try to change anyone. I have learned this a long time ago, Linda. If you could learn to love your sister, and not that you would call her up and tell her you love her, but if you could give her unconditional love and let this go, it would be your greatest healing. And you know what? You wouldn't be doing it for her. You'd be doing it for yourself, but at the same time, wow, that's what it's all about. You know what? My job is not to get people to like me or love me. My job is to get people to fall in love with themselves. And that can be a hard road, trying to get someone to love themselves, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. I will work on that.
Okay, let's talk about some things. Let's just break this sucker down a little bit, okay? And then if you want, it's entirely up to you, okay? We can come back here. We can come back here in a week from now and have this thing tightened up, because now you've got things to think about. Now you've got things to think. What am I capable of? Where do I want to start with this? What do I want to do with this? So I kind of laid out a menu for you, but I need you to go and watch my, everything in my library is in video. So you can go and watch the 6-day advanced water fasting guide videos. There's 2 of them. It goes in pretty deep because advanced water fasting is your best bang for your money. Okay, because when you unleash stem cell making and autophagy in the body, let me tell you something. Did you know that if you do a 6-day advanced water fast, and I can say this because it's true, it's worth $100,000 in stem cell injections. Did you get what I just said?
What's
You know everybody that's going for stem cell injections, well, they're $10,000 each. And if you did a 6-day advanced water fast like we tell you to do, it's worth 10 of those. Did you get that?
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
And you'll also unrelease the autophagy, which will go in and eat up those cells that do not belong in a high vibrational body. Now, I need you to take a look at the vaginal infusion. It's in the 6-day advanced water fast. It's not expensive. I would really love you to do a vaginal infusion if you can, twice a day. But if you can't, you can do it once a day and you can hold it overnight. What about heart stenosis? Okay, I'll go back and answer the questions once I allow Linda to go on her way. I'll go back and see what I can do here, okay? Okay. Where was I, Linda? Okay, yeah. The vaginal infusion, try to do it twice a day, okay? And let's do that twice a day. You're going to love this. Once a day to twice a day for 20 days, okay? And then me and you are going to talk. But me and you can come back on in a week and you're going to tell me what you're capable of. And then I'll just tweak it again and we'll do another live show. Would you like that?
Sure. That'd be awesome.
All right. Okay. So,
Thank you.
So take a look at the vaginal infusion in the 6-day advanced water fasting guide. It's also in the do-it-yourself guide, which has all kinds of things in there. I want you to do an ultimate coffee enema every day, not a coffee one, but make sure that you are mixing and using the black gold method or the tummy love method of the humic fulvic. Okay?
Okay.
All right. I want you to do gentle pelvic squats, okay? Just gentle ones to try to loosen things up. Where can we get this guide? Go to Doc of Detox, DOCOF, DETOX library.com, or just go to Dr. Detox and click on library. Guys, I have the biggest self-care, self-love library in the world. My masterclass, we charge $1,000 for. They're all free. We have no time to be trying to sell people. We got to try to sell people to love and care for themselves, like pretty ding-dang quick here. Okay, there's some real big crap coming down the pipe here around March, April, and it's not going to stop until around 2030, 2032. I'm not making this up. So everybody better get their brave hearts on and learn how to love yourself and stop reacting and attacking and start loving and caring for yourself and holding the line. Okay? Here's the things I'd like you to take a look at going on, and then you can research them and come back to me. I need you to take a look at the black gold, the black diamond, curcumin cayenne 5000, the Beyond Ormus minerals, daily cleansing tea. I will tell you this. You are not in any critical condition, but if it's affordable, please take a look at the Thunder Shrooms Vital Care. If I could get you to do anywhere from 3 to 6 of those, we could jumpstart your immune system. Instead of it taking 6 weeks to 3 months, we can do it in just a few days. I'm serious. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We have what's called Critical Care Thunder Shrooms. And people don't have to believe it, but we got people going to hospice. And when we get them on Marigen, Critical Care Thunder Shrooms, and C60, MCT oil, hemp oil, you would be surprised how many people are coming back home from hospice. Understand something. What happens is the electrical force in the body is no longer there. Remember, everybody says they need energy, but they actually don't. They need electricity. So we deal with nutraceuticals, and the higher the vibration, the more electricity they give the body. That's how you get people out of bed. That's how you get sick people to know that they can live. It's all about electricity. It's about the electrical charge. When you have energy, you feel fantastic. When you don't have energy, you get depressed. End of story. Somebody who's not alive has no energy. Somebody who's sick has very little. Somebody who is healthy has lots of energy. Yes or no? So start making choices that honor and respect you. Stop compromising yourself this Christmas for love. Okay? Well, look who asked me. It was my mother that asked me if I'd eat the cookie. It was my dad that asked me if I'd have a drink. It was my brother that would ask me that I don't get along with if I would have another drink with him, or if I would eat some chips, or if I would eat this or do this. You know, until we love ourselves, we will compromise ourselves and eat crap to hope that we can have love, because we're emotional beings. And that's it. No, thank you. You know? No, thank you.
No, I used to eat a lot of chips.
I can see it.
It's true. And a lot of dairy with, like, you know, when you have a Tim Hortons coffee, I'd have the decaf tea with 3 creams and 2 sugars.
And do you know why, sweetie? Because when you were a little girl, you were taught that if you loved long enough and hard enough and strong enough, you would get your shining knight, and your heart would be filled up by him and your children, and you would live happily ever after. When the reality is, that's the biggest rule, school, and fool on this planet. The day that you totally love Linda, and you fill up Linda's heart with love, and you shine that on everywhere you go, is the day that we don't have to be on here, because you will not have a disease, because you'll be at ease, because you'll be in harmony. And understand something. People only have heart problems because they have heart relationships, because they feel they're unworthy. People have heart attacks basically because, take a look at all the people that eat crap, but if they have some love for themselves, they're not having heart attacks. That's the God's truth. The heart is the recorder of your relationships, and the most important one is with yourself. If you're the lover that you wanted under the cover, and I'm not just trying to tell you that, but that's the truth. You know, if you loved yourself, you would not be beating yourself up all the time. And that you beat yourself up a lot, Denise. A lot. I mean, Denise, Linda. That was Denise who just asked the question. She says, I sent you a private message, Dr. Wolf, so I'm looking at her. My apologies, Linda. But you know what? Cut the crap. Get a love band, life band on, and every time that you talk down on yourself, or I shoulda, I coulda, I woulda, you go like this, That's a kiss. This is snug as a hug. No, the new me totally loves me. The new me doesn't even have to forgive me. Because guess what? I can either learn or burn. And understand, I'm not a loser. I'm a learner. And I'm going to make mistakes, but I'm not going to punish myself like we've been thumped by religion. I'm not. I'm a beautiful person. And that's that. You decide if you want an old man in the sky that loves you 1 minute and doesn't the next. Or if you just want to go and love yourself and heal yourself and just get to it. Okay, so I want you to do some clapping on that pelvic area with the clapper. But before you do that, I want you to do belly button therapy. So make sure you're doing belly button therapy first thing in the morning. Nobody realizes that if you do belly button therapy with the belly button therapy kit, you're releasing more serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins than anything else you can do in your life. More than a hug. So do the belly button therapy, then do the clapping before you get up in the morning. Clap your groin area on both sides for at least 5 minutes each. And then right on top of the pubic bone area, I want you to clap that area. And then wherever you feel stuck in your abdomen, I want you to clap that area and also use the belly button therapy kit to go in there and try to loosen up those knots and adhesions. Okay?
Okay, so how long for the belly button?
Well, the belly button therapy, just follow the instructions in the kit. It takes you 5 minutes. You can be laying in bed. You should do belly button therapy before you go to sleep because that will put you to sleep. You should do belly button therapy before you get out of bed. So you say, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Screw him. No. Get in there and release the serotonin and the dopamine, oxytocin and go, yeah, I'm feeling kind of good here. Yeah. And stop allowing your subconscious to make up all these rules where you come short, where you're not good enough, or where you have all these expectations of everybody who supposedly loves you and they're supposed to make you feel good. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So you know with the clapper, right? I mean, I have a lipoma right next to on the right side of my body by the sit bone, and it's about the size of a golf ball.
Yeah, and guess what? That is a nest for parasites, and the lipomas are really good and really grow really well with pork. Okay.
Okay. I didn't know that. Really?
No, I just make this stuff up so I can get attention. I'm kidding. So, yes.
Like
yeah.
bacon, right?
And guess what? Guess one of the only things that gets rid of lipoma? Fasting. Vaginal infusion, ultimate coffee enema, or else it's going to just stay with you. I've got an oncologist out of Australia. He's head of the oncology ward, okay, of this hospital. And guess what? We had to do fast with him. We did a 60-day fast with him on the nutraceuticals. And he had over 60 lipomas. And guess what? He doesn't have any more, but it took us 3 years. 60 lipomas on his body.
Wow. I had 2. I got rid of the other one. But this one's deep, so I can't get at it.
Well, because guess what? How deep are you going to go here? With your love, or how deep are you going to go with your anger? Remember something, we call it issues in the tissues for a reason. A lipoma is like a big fatty tumor. Okay? And when I say tumor, I don't mean cancerous. And did you know this, everybody? Did you know that what they did? Oh, you're going to love this one. They used to call a fibroid benign. They used to call a tumor when it was active. Now they call them all tumors. Does anybody notice how it's all about the trauma drama? Everything? Can we just stop it now? If you want to go to these guys, I'm not saying they're all terrorists. I mean, doctors are human beings. Nurses are human beings. All of these people are beautiful people. But guess what? What if their belief system's wrong? I didn't say it was. I'm just saying, you know what? We should be giving people courage, faith, and we should be giving people a protocol from the moment they rise until they close their eyes of unconditional love and care for themselves. And that's what we call healthcare. And that's what I provide. Yeah. Linda?
So can I ask you a question about bone broth? I mean, I thought bone broth was supposed to be so good for us.
I never said it wasn't. If you want to do bone broth, okay, I do veggie broth. I'm not going to do bone broth ever. I hope you know this. Some of my colleagues, some of the biggest people in the health business are my colleagues. And I told them, let me see, it was maybe about 10 years ago. Hey, Daryl, guess what? Let's all go in together and get into bone broth, organic bone broth. I said no. And then guess what? Their stuff got recalled because the bone broth came from cancerous animals. I'm just not doing it. I'm not entering that phase. I'm going with vegetables, thank you very much, and vegetable broth. You do whatever you want. I'm not downing bone broth. I'm just not going to play around where I shouldn't play around. Most of the products I carry, I've had them for years. I can tell you right now, my C60 is 270 times stronger than than vitamin C. It's the strongest antioxidant in the world. It'll totally help to get rid of all the symptoms of the V and detoxify. The reality is my humic fulvic is the only humic fulvic that has never used any chemicals to process it. My iodine's the only pure iodine where we've got patients that are actually doing 2 ounces of iodine a day if they're dealing with stage 4 inflammation. If you did that with any other iodine, you would destroy the person. See? So we're well researched, okay? The deal is that do whatever you want to do. I am never going to tell people that they shouldn't do something. I'm going to tell them what I do, because if I tell them what they shouldn't do, then that's just me being a marketeer, and I'm not having anything to do with it. Understand?
So did you say I should...
And I'm going to tell you something. Most of the people that have deficiencies in vitamins and other things like that, guess what? They don't. You got to do whole body healing. Let's get you on a whole plant-based diet. If you want to do things like lentil soup, if you want to add beans to your salads, if you want to add organic free-range eggs raw to your blender drinks, you're going to rock this thing, And don't give me, and then people will tell me about, raw eggs you get poisoned by. That's not even true. That's not even true. People just pass on the worst things. If you were to go take a couple raw eggs, make it in your blender drink, let it sit in 90-degree weather, or let it sit in the house in warmth for hours and hours, it would make you nauseous. There you go. Okay? And also, if you want to ever test your eggs, just put the egg in the water. It should lay flat. If the more the egg stands up like this, the older it is. And then if the egg is floating, then it's not worth eating. There. So if people really want to know.
So you mentioned I should take 20 sprays of the iodine and then 5
And nobody
of the
should be drinking Orange Julius. Somebody said, yeah, do an Orange Julius and egg in my juice. No, Orange Julius is crap. Just like Gatorade is cancer causing. End of story. All right. What'd you say, love?
So for the iodine, do the 20 sprays of the iodine and then 5 sprays of iodide?
That's right. Just to start, though, okay? Because we want to disinfect you, and we want to bring your thyroid back to proper balance. Okay? All right?
So I'm on thyroid medication. It's a natural porcine supplement.
It's a natural what?
They consider it to be a natural porcine supplement.
Okay. And is that and guess what? That's not why you got sick. You got sick with your thyroid problem because you didn't have enough iodine, Denise. So why don't we give your body what it wants? Iodine.
Okay.
And I'm not and work with you can work with your doctor if you want to work with your doctor, but understand something. If you're just on a supplement for your thyroid, my product's going to do more than anything you've ever seen. So that's that. Okay?
Because I'd like to get off of that.
Well, then look at all my products have guides. Those guides are in the library. Go watch some real science.
Okay. So how long would I be on that for? At least 3 months? Like
Oh,
20 drops?
you'll never come off the iodine. You'll do 5 sprays in the back of your throat. I hope you know this. Guess what? Unless you get iodine every day, you're not going to have the metabolism or the health that you should have had. Everybody needs iodine. Your body does not make iodine. Okay? And that's a fact. Everybody needs to do their homework. 5 sprays of iodine is probably going to cost you 20 cents a day or something like that. I mean, we sell a 16-ounce bottle. You just got to keep the lid on it. And right now, up until tonight, we've got Cyber Monday sale. So everything's on sale. After tonight, it's off.
Okay.
All right. Now, we've got other things to talk about, but start where we started. And then do your homework. And guess what? You call me back in a day or two and say, Daryl, I want to come back on next week. And I want you to just tighten up my protocol, and we'll have Linda part 2. And I will tighten it right up for you. I'll just do it for you. But I need you to research it, because you're not going to do it because I told you to do it. You're going to do it because it's only logical to do this.
No, I'm going to do it. Actually, I already have most of these products anyway, so I want to do it.
Well, then guess what? Why don't you look at the stuff I said, and if you want this week, I will do part 2 with you.
Okay.
But guess
I would
what?
love to get
I got to be honest with you. I have a meeting right now.
Okay.
I
That's
do.
okay.
I have a big meeting with my staff right now. So I'm going to go bop diddly dop. And then you come back and say, look, I'm going to be done researching all this, Daryl, and putting together by da-da-da. And I want that show. And I'll say, hey, I'll show up for you, Linda.
Okay, that's great.
We're taking you to the finish line, girl. Okay?
All right. Thank
Hey,
you so
listen,
much.
we're going to come back on here in 6 weeks to 3 months, and you are going to tell your story about how you feel beautiful, young again, and no stress. And you're going, my life has changed. And ever since I got myself loving and caring for myself, you should see the things that are walking into my life. I just love it. Okay, because understand something. There is a creator, there is a source, and every time you have a thought, make sure it's not full of rot. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Cyber Monday's over tonight, and if you would like to come and take our courses down here, that's my son, Dr. Sage Wolf, trying to get me. Please go to braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com. You can come in as a patient, and you can take our New World Practitioner training, Whole Life Coach, or Wolf Non-Surgical, Most Powerful Body Work, and I really mean that. We give a money-back guarantee in our consultations, our treatment, your first treatment with us, to prove to you you don't have to go to surgery and that we're going to turn you around. And we also give a money-back guarantee on our certifications. And go check those out, but just know that my library is free. You're going to find more information in there than you've ever seen before in health. And it's 1 or 2, not 11. Okay, we're not going to try to jerk you around, okay? So it's all free to you. All right, I got to run. I will be back later. Everyone, have a beautiful day. Love you, Linda.
Thanks. Love you too, Daryl.
Now go love yourself, okay?
I'll do that too.
3, 2, 1. Have a beautiful day, Bravehearts.